Well put, Jaden. But there's more to it than that.
It's Sarina!
Telling my sin! Yeah! Never say die! Gotta go!
Hey there everybody, it's me, Casual Cooper, and today we're going to be talking about Sarina, the mirror lady that is actually Sartorius' sister and is trying to help her brother escape from the light. Sarina is an interesting character in the show because she starts out looking like a villain, like, oh, I'm going to take all the powers and make people, stronger, and also I killed some kids that probably didn't deserve. I think they were in America at the time. They got what they deserved. No, I'm joking. They weren't there. It's just these guys. She did kill some kids. It was probably a big problem. I don't know why I'm trying to gloss over that. She's a bad person, but she's also a good person because she's just trying to help her brother in the end. Sarina's deck is supposed to be about this card called Load of Darkness, which does exist in the Tag Force games, but sadly doesn't exist in real life or in this game specifically. And because it doesn't exist in this game specifically, I have to give her cards that are just mirror based, which is kind of stupid, but at the same time, really funny. So we're going to go ahead and dive into what her deck is. We have Fiend Reflections, 1 and 2. We have Job Changing Mirror. We have Archfiend Mirror. We have the Monarch cards that she gave out to 4 different unsuspecting victims because she killed them. I will not get over that. She's evil. She's got Reflect Bounders, which is actually really good. This is a really good card to have 3 of. She's got Manju of the 10,000 Hands, which is really good for ritual monsters. Oh, wait, it's Fiend's Mirror. Yeah, that's right. The ritual monster I gave her is literally Fiend's Mirror at 2100 attack. This is her new boss monster. I know the Mobiuses are just straight up better, but this is her new boss monster because Load of Darkness doesn't exist. And a shit ton of her spells and traps, including her field spell, doesn't exist in this game either. Therefore, I had to put in other stuff, so let's take a look. We got Graceful Charity, Monster Pot, we all know that stuff. Premature Burial, that's actually really good. She's got Beastly Mirror Ritual, which is, kind of nice. It's to summon her Fiend's Mirror. It's only a level 6, so it's not even that hard to summon. You can get rid of a Monarch to summon that. It's so easy. Sure, you have 300 less attack, but you have a 800 more defense than a Monarch. I don't know why I'm trying to talk this card up. It's terrible. And you're going to use it. You people at home. I want you to test this deck daily. We got the Crush Card Virus, which actually does combo well with her Archfiend Mirror and Job Changing Mirror, and can ruin a lot of high-power decks, making it so her kind of low-power deck can still win. She's got Fairy's Hand Mirror, because it's a mirror card. I don't even know what it does. Let's read it. When your opponent activates a spell card that targets exactly one monster, and no other cards on the field, target another card that would be an appropriate target. Okay. So I guess equip spells can be changed. And other cards that target. Okay, what about Fiend's Hand Mirror? Switch the opponent's spell card effect that targets one spell or trap card to another correct target. Ah, this is good for Mystical Space Typhoon. If someone tries to MST you, you could use this card to make them MST themselves. And that's probably the most common use. I gave her Mirror Force. I know, right? Her deck sucked. She needed it. I gave her Mirror Force for one big reason. 1, her deck sucked. 2, her deck's all about mirrors. Because her deck's all about mirrors, I gave her Mirror Force. It's actually going to be in this deck. This is the only time I'm doing this, because she deserves it. But goddamn. Normally, I try to keep Mirror Force out of this series because it'd be just too broken. We got Call of the Haunted, and we got Mirror Wall. Other really broken cards, because most of her monsters are really weak, but with Mirror Wall, she can actually overpower most of her opponents. But it will cost you 2,000 life points a turn, so... they're a little bit costly, but they're very nice to have. Her deck is kind of interesting. She has a ritual monster thanks to me. She has a bunch of really bad normal monster thanks to me. She's got Crush Card Virus thanks to me. And she's got all these mirror cards that some are good, like Reflect Bounder, and most are bad. And most are bad. These 2 could actually maybe come in handy in this tournament, but that's it. She has the Monarchs, which the Monarchs are good. Zaborg, great. Thestalos, whatever. Raiza, amazing. Mobius, amazing. These cards are great. This card's really good, and this card is meh, but it's still 2400 beater for 1 tribute. So when you're playing as Sarina, it's going to be a little bit of a rough time, but let's go ahead and look into her stats. These stats are kind of weird. Attack-wise, her deck kind of sucks, obviously. She's below average. Yeah, she has triple 2400 beaters, which is really good. But her ritual monster is only 21, which is really bad. 700 attack, 800 attack, 1100 attack, and 1300 attack. The best beater she has in her deck that isn't a tribute or ritual is literally Reflect Bounder at 17, which is just a super solid card. But anybody with like a... God, what's an 18 beater? With an X-Head cannon or more could just wreck her whole deck, stopping her from getting off a tribute summon or a ritual summon. Manju's going to help out so she can get those ritual summons no matter what, but overall this deck is going to suck kind of bad. Thanks to Mirror Wall and Mirror Force, it actually does have some survivability, but moving into her speed stat, not the fastest lady. She has Premature Burial, she has a ritual card, so that helps her speed. Manju helps her speed as well. The rest of these don't. Those are the only cards that help her speed stat, which is why her speed stat is below average. But moving into her skill stat, that's where things start to change. She actually has enough skill to win this duel. Reflect Bounders, the triple Reflect Bounder can win her the duel. The Mirror Wall can win her the duel by making your opponent crash on them, crash into your cards. The Monarchs can win her the duel. She actually does have win condition cards here. When it comes to the defense stat, though, not so much. I think this card's pretty decent at 14, not really good or usable, but they're there. 13, no, that's not enough. 600, no. Terrible in the monsters. Terrible. Yeah, her defense is ass. Her best defense monster is her ritual at 1800. That's not good. But she does have a lot of defensive traps to help her out. But overall, when it comes to her monsters, just not good. Luck, though, she does have some lucky cards. The lucky cards that she does have are Thestalos, because it has something to do with your opponent's hand. She has the Fiend Mirrors, which can be completely lucky because it depends on your opponent activating something. And I would say Crush card could be a little lucky because you have to have the perfect combo, but not really. I'm going to say the Mirrors mixed with Thestalos. That's where she gets that little bit of luck from. Moving on to her brick stat. She's not going to brick that often. This deck, all of these summonable and they can be used for tribute. These four are a little bricky, but honestly, since they're only one tribute, not bad. These cards, really good. Manju, really good. And the ritual cards are bricky. This is probably what knocked down her brick stat. It's only the ritual cards problem. But overall, her deck is pretty interesting. Now, moving on to whether or not she actually is a competitor in this series. The answer might surprise you. It's yes. She can win the tournament. And I know what you're thinking. Cooper, look at all those crappy normal monsters. Everyone else, look at those back row cards. She has Mirror Force. She has Crush Card Virus. She has triple Mirror Wall. This deck can win a tournament. With just the Monarchs, she can win a tournament. Easily. The Fiend's Mirror, thanks to Mirror Wall, can win a tournament. This deck actually can do it. Now, it's going to be a little hard because you could just get stuck with all the normal monsters and some bad spells and traps. But if you could pull off one Monarch, you could probably beat any of your opponents. You have Mirror Force backing you up. You could probably beat any of your opponents. These cards are a little too situational for my liking. This card, if you draw it, you probably will have the chance to activate it because there are so many dark monsters below 1000 attack. There's like 6 of them. Yeah, it's doable. Her deck is actually doable for winning the tournament thanks to her trap cards. If she goes up against an opponent that stops traps, then yeah, I agree, she's screwed. But if she doesn't, then you could totally win the duel with this deck. Hell, you can win the duel by just ritual summoning a Fiend's Mirror and then using it as a tribute for one of her Monarchs. It's actually doable. But I understand your guys' concern on how often it's going to win. Personally, when I tested this deck, it had about a 50% win rate. I was winning thanks to Reflect Bounder stalling into me getting a Monarch. I was winning thanks to Fiend's Mirror into a Monarch. I was winning thanks to Fiend's Mirror thanks to a Mirror Wall. And I pulled Mirror Force at the perfect time, wiping my opponent's fields. Honestly, this deck could totally win the tournament, but it's extremely unlikely. I think it's going to be determined based on the person playing it. This is a tournament winner if you are a good player. Personally, I had a 50% win rate with this deck against the other decks in this series, so I could say I could probably pull off a victory in the tournament with this deck if I'm lucky enough, but overall, it's going to be dependent on you, the player, the subscriber. So, I'm going to give her a 2.5 stars, just barely passes to be a tournament winner. What do you guys think? I actually want to know in the comments section. This seems like a very controversial deck because it has so many weak cards on top of so many powerful back row. So you got to let me know what you think. I'm a little on the fence, which is why she's getting a 2.5. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. Sarina's deck is very interesting. And if you're enjoying this, remember to like and subscribe and follow us on Discord so that you could join in the tournament when it actually happens. We're getting closer and closer to the end of all these characters. And when we get to the end, if you want to be in the tournament, you got to be there. So, bye-bye, everybody.